In this video, we'll review the 4 measurement options for the Control KPI key result type and examples of how you can use each option to accurately track your targets. Select your KPI category, name your KPI, and select the key result types that go with this KPI. If you have selected Control KPI, you will have a drop-down menu asking how you would like your progress calculated. There are 4 different ways to calculate progress and profit. The number of check-ins where the target was achieved divided by the total number of check-ins made, the distance your KPI value is from the target as of the check-in date, the average value of all check-ins divided by the average of the planned targets throughout the quarter, and the sum of all check-ins divided by the sum of all targets. The first option is the most common way that users choose to track Control KPI. This option adds progress to your key result if you achieved your target in a given week, and does not if you didn't achieve your target. Say that your key result is to distribute a weekly product update to all clients. If you distributed the weekly update, you would check in as 1. If you did not, you would check in as 0. This calculation would give you an accurate count of how many times you achieved your weekly target and how many times you missed it. The second option calculates progress by taking into account the distance your KPI value is from the target as of the check-in date. This calculation type is great for measuring ambitious targets, such as the key result, make at least 500 sales calls per week, with the KPI being calls. Unlike the first option, this measurement does not just calculate whether or not you reached the target. Calculating the first way might actually discourage employees from making progress at all. After all, if they did not make 500 calls, they would have no progress to show for it at the end of the week. Instead, this key result type factors in the progress you did make, even if it's below the target. So, if you make 375 calls, progress will move fractionally, not as much as if you made 500, but still taking into account the progress you made. The third calculation option is the average value of all check-ins divided by the average planned targets throughout the quarter. This calculation type finds the average value of all your check-ins throughout the quarter and divides it by the average of all the planned values that Profit automatically produces for each key result. This calculation option can be used when tracking things that accumulate over time. For example, say you have the key result publish 10 blog posts per week. On week 1, you might only publish 8 blog posts. However, on week 2, you publish 12. The average value of your check-ins is 10, meaning that you're 100% on target, as the average value of the planned check-ins is also 10. This way, the calculation accurately reports the average number of blog posts you've made per week, even if it's not exactly 10 per week. The fourth and final option for calculating Control KPI progress is the sum of all check-ins divided by the sum of all targets. This calculation option takes the sum of all your check-in values and divides it by the sum of all the planned progress values that Profit automatically produces on each key result. Similar to the third calculation option, this progress calculation is a great option for when you're working with cumulative tasks. For example, say you have the key result convert 40 leads per week. On week 1, let's say you convert 45 leads, but in week 2, you only convert 35. Again, the progress of your key result will be 100% on track, as 35 plus 45 is equal to 80, and the sum of the planned check-ins is also 80. Choose your calculation depending on the type of KPI and the key result you would like to track. Don't forget that super users can change how an existing Control KPI is calculated by navigating to Settings, OKRs, KPIs, KPIs by category, and opening the Edit window of their chosen KPI.